Aaliyah bounced with excitement as she entered the bustling community center in Trinidad and Tobago. The 9-year-old girl's dark skin glowed with anticipation, and her long black braids swayed as she looked around the spacious room. Her bright, colorful traditional dress, adorned with swirling patterns of red, green, and gold, matched the festive atmosphere perfectly. Aaliyah's brown eyes sparkled as she took in the scene before her, eager to help organize the upcoming Kwanzaa celebration. The community center was a hive of activity, with people of all ages working together to transform the space. Vibrant reds, greens, and blacks, the colors of Kwanzaa, were everywhere. Large banners hung from the ceiling, and folding tables lined the walls, ready to be decorated. Aaliyah could smell the sweet aroma of cinnamon and nutmeg wafting from the kitchen, where volunteers were preparing traditional dishes for the feast. "Aaliyah, over here!" called Mrs. Johnson, a kind-faced woman with graying hair and warm brown eyes. She waved Aaliyah over to a table piled high with decorations. "We need your creative touch to make these centerpieces shine," Mrs. Johnson said with a smile. Aaliyah's face lit up as she saw the array of colorful materials before her. "I'd love to help, Mrs. Johnson," Aaliyah exclaimed, her voice filled with enthusiasm. She carefully picked up a wooden kinara, the traditional candle holder used in Kwanzaa celebrations. "Can I decorate this one first?" she asked, already reaching for the bright ribbons and beads. Mrs. Johnson nodded approvingly. "Of course, dear. Show us your artistic skills." As Aaliyah worked, her nimble fingers weaving ribbons and arranging beads, she chatted with the other volunteers. She learned about the 7 principles of Kwanzaa and the meaning behind each candle on the kinara. The community center buzzed with conversation and laughter, creating a warm and welcoming atmosphere. Aaliyah felt a sense of pride growing in her chest as she contributed to the celebration. "Aaliyah, would you like to help me hang these posters?" asked Mr. Ramsey, a tall man with a friendly smile and a bright yellow shirt. He held up several colorful posters explaining the history and traditions of Kwanzaa. Aaliyah nodded eagerly, setting down her completed kinara. Together, they walked around the room, carefully placing the informative posters where everyone could see them. As they worked, Mr. Ramsey shared stories about past Kwanzaa celebrations in their community. Aaliyah listened intently, her brown eyes wide with wonder. "Did you know," Mr. Ramsey said, "that Kwanzaa was created to help African Americans reconnect with their cultural heritage?" Aaliyah shook her head, fascinated by this new information. She felt even more excited to be part of such a meaningful celebration. The afternoon flew by as Aaliyah moved from task to task, helping wherever she could. She arranged chairs in neat rows for the upcoming performances, her colorful dress swishing as she darted back and forth. She helped string up twinkling lights around the room, standing on her tiptoes to reach the highest spots. With each task completed, the community center looked more and more festive. As the sun began to set, casting a warm glow through the windows, Aaliyah heard the sound of drums in the distance. "The musicians are here," someone shouted excitedly. Aaliyah rushed to the entrance, her braids bouncing behind her. She watched in awe as a group of drummers entered, their instruments decorated with vibrant African patterns. The leader of the drum group, a woman with a bright smile and colorful headwrap, knelt down to Aaliyah's level. "Would you like to learn a simple beat?" she asked kindly. Aaliyah nodded enthusiastically, her eyes shining with excitement. The woman guided Aaliyah's hands, teaching her a basic rhythm on a small hand drum. Soon, Aaliyah was tapping along with the group, her face beaming with joy. As the evening approached, more community members began to arrive for the celebration. Aaliyah watched proudly as people admired the decorations she had helped create. She overheard conversations about unity, creativity, and faith, all important principles of Kwanzaa. The community center was filled with a sense of togetherness that made Aaliyah's heart swell with happiness. The official ceremony began with the lighting of the kinara. Aaliyah stood next to her parents, watching intently as each candle was lit, representing the 7 principles of Kwanzaa. The room fell silent as everyone listened to the words being spoken, explaining the significance of each principle. Aaliyah felt a deep sense of connection to her heritage and community. After the ceremony, the celebration truly began. The air was filled with the sounds of laughter, music, and conversation. Aaliyah danced with her friends, her colorful dress twirling as she moved to the beat of the drums. She tasted delicious traditional foods and listened to elders share stories about their culture and history. The community center was alive with joy and unity. As the night drew to a close, Aaliyah felt tired but incredibly happy. She had helped create something beautiful and meaningful for her community. Looking around at the smiling faces and the vibrant decorations, Aaliyah knew she would always remember this special Kwanzaa celebration. She had learned so much about her heritage and the importance of community, and she couldn't wait to share her experiences with others. As she left the community center, hand in hand with her parents, Aaliyah's heart was full of love and pride for her culture and her community.